The year is 1943 or thereabouts in Dallas, Texas. A couple is driving at night alongside White Rock Lake when their headlights pick up a figure in white. A young woman with blonde hair. She's dripping wet and her elegant dress is soaked through. She asks the couple for help, to take her to an address on Gaston Avenue. Of course they agree, and she gets in the car. But before they reach the house, they find she has disappeared, leaving only lake water on the car seat where she was. Those are the first written reports of the Lady of White Rock Lake. She is usually blonde, always in distress, usually asked to be taken to Gaston Avenue, and she is always gone before the car arrives. Sometimes she leaves her wrap behind. In a particularly Dallas touch, the dress is sometimes said to be a beautiful Neiman Marcus gown in a 1920s style. In the early stories, the couple actually goes to the address, and a man answers the door, only to tell them that his beautiful blonde daughter drowned weeks or years ago in White Rock Lake. She's one of the more famous Texas ghosts, but she's also a classic type of urban legend, the vanishing hitchhiker, common across the United States. In these tales, the ghost's destination sometimes turns out to be the cemetery where she's buried. Sometimes she's leaving a dance or a party and trying to get home. Now and then she borrows a coat from the friendly driver, and when he goes to look for the vanished woman, he finds his coat lying on top of her gravestone. But the key is always that the traveler doesn't realize she's a ghost until she vanishes. Such tales go back to the horse and carriage days. Over a century ago in Durham, England, coaches on the Crossgate Peth Road were stopped by a woman carrying a baby, but both figures would vanish near the battlefield where her husband died. As automobiles took over American roads, phantom hitchhiker stories grew and spread, but they're usually surprisingly local, with specific details such as the Gaston Avenue reference in Dallas. Our Dallas lady wears a white party dress like many of the others, but the description of her as soaking wet and drowned in the lake is unusual. More often, the ghost was murdered or killed in a car accident. And very often, whether in Chicago or California, the stories end at the woman's family home, like this one collected in 1969 in North Carolina from Jan Brunvan's famous book, The Vanishing Hitchhiker. When we got there, I got out and came around to open the door for her, but she was gone. I couldn't understand it, and I went up to the house and rang the bell. When an elderly lady answered, I asked for Mary. "Not again," was all she said. I said, "What?" And she explained that Mary had been killed in a car wreck. I was about the 5th person in 8 years that had tried to bring her home. Read more tales of the Lady of White Rock Lake and urban legends at Linktree TexasGhostTales, and tune in next time for the true story of the Marfa Lights.